Know that there are rules about reading the Qur'an. That is, we should be in the state of wudu before touching the book. How does this rule apply to electronic devices? I usually read the Qur'an on my phone or laptop. Also, should we be in wudu if we only recite from memory, not touching or reading? I'll begin with your second question. You do not need to be in the state of wudu when you read the Qur'an or recite it from memory. And a lot of the sisters, especially from the subcontinent, they come and say, when we recite the Qur'an, do we have to wear our hijab? Do we have to cover our hair? When we hear the adhan, is it must that we wear the hijab? And all of this is baseless. These are baseless things. You, in your house, are not obliged at all to cover your head when hearing the adhan or when reciting the Qur'an at all. So this is baseless. One would say, oh, it's best that I do it. No, it's not. Because now you're innovating. Now you're bringing something to the deen that is not part of it. As for reciting the Qur'an and touching the PDAs or the mobile phones or the laptops to read the Qur'an from it, you do not require wudu for that. Why? Because these characters, these letters, these words, they are digital. So once you turn them off, they're gone. They are not like the actual Qur'an which is written on paper. And this requires wudu. And this is what the scholars say. Of course, if you perform wudu, would I be rewarded? Definitely. That is a plus, and it is definitely more recommended to do than to recite it without. But sometimes you're on the street, you're on the bus, in the train, you are in a queue, you're waiting for your appointment at the doctor's, and you're not in the state of wudu, and you have the Qur'an. So instead of reading a magazine or chit-chatting or watching the TV in the waiting room, you do something useful and you recite the Qur'an from your electronic device without the need of making wudu, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best.